So if you've been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, you may well have missed that Jurgen Klopp has now decided to leave Liverpool at the end of the season and not at the end of his contract in a couple of years' time. Of course, pretty much the whole of the footballing world is completely in shock and no idea that Jurgen Klopp was planning to do this. But of course, I thought, what a great idea for a football manager video to do around Jurgen Klopp. So that's exactly what we've done. And what I've decided to do is reset his whole managerial career. So take him back to when he first took over at Mainz as a 33-year-old. I think it's 23, potentially 24 years ago, and play out his career from there. So that's exactly what we've done. I've tried to keep it as realistic as possible. I know dates and etc. are hard to change in Football Manager. Well, I say hard, completely impossible. So what we've done is done it the best I could. He is now 33 years old. If we take a look at his career stats, you'll see that he's literally just finished his playing career for Mainz and taken over as the manager. Of course, never played in the Bundesliga, always been as high as Bundesliga 2. So, yeah, all that's left to do is sim through his career and kind of see what happens. So, first and foremost, we're going to go 5 years into the future, see if he's still at Mainz, whether he's gone on to another bigger team and whatnot, and hopefully sort of won some cups or trophies. So 5 years into the future now, and quite underwhelmingly, Jurgen Klopp is unemployed. I did not expect that. Of course, we can see down here that he was the manager of Mainz for the past 5 years, so I can only imagine he's left the club now. But what we're going to do is take a look at his milestones and see what's happened. He was sacked as the manager of Mainz there due to the club's poor league position in February of this year, so didn't quite make 5 years. If we look at Mainz there and see what happened with their league position, we can see they got relegated, so that kind of speaks volumes about where he had the club at. So underwhelming, to say the least, for his first 5 years in football managing. Jurgen Klopp did a 5 year stint in Mainz, but unfortunately he's been sacked. So I think all that's left to do is go another 5 years into the future, and hopefully this isn't a complete disaster and he has actually found himself another club. So another 5 years into the future, 10 years in total. The year is 2033. And I'm pleased to tell you that Jurgen Klopp is back in football management with RB Leipzig. But actually, he's been quite a busy man, because after we left him 5 years ago, he went on to manage Real Sociedad by the looks of things. And now he's the current RB Leipzig manager. So I think what we first should do is take a look at the milestones and kind of see what's been happening with him. So, of course, we left him in July of 2028. So literally a few weeks later, he went on to become the Real Sociedad manager there. And since then, not a lot has happened. He was actually sacked 2 years later by Real Sociedad due to the club's poor league position. So in the first 6 or 7 years, he was sacked twice as a manager. And onto his third club, RB Leipzig, still not won a trophy. Still not won anything by the looks of things. If we take a look at his overall career stats, we see he's played 305 games, won less than half. Well, he's won just more than he's lost, actually, with a winning percentage of 42, so 42% there. So not the best start to managerial life for Jurgen Klopp in his first 10 years. Let's just hope it gets better. And the only thing really to say of interest right now, as you can see, he's a wanted man. And if we just hover over there, we can see he's actually wanted by Liverpool. So wouldn't that be interesting to see in another 5 years' time, Jurgen Klopp as the manager of Liverpool, and everything's become full circle. But that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go forward another 5 years, 15 years in total, and see where he's ended up. So 15 years now into the future, and he is at a Premier League club. It's not Liverpool, though. It's Newcastle United. So again, Jurgen Klopp has been very busy by the looks of things. Left RB Leipzig in 2034, 1 year after we were last there. And since then, he's managed PSG for 4 years. And now he's, I'm guessing, just recently become the Newcastle manager. So if we go back quickly and take a look at what's happened since we were last with him, we can see there are a number of competition wins there. But if we just go back to where we left off, you can see he's won a cup finally. His first cup in 2034, 11 years after he started his managerial career. So it did take a hell of a long time. But as you can see there, the same year he left for PSG. And of course, PSG in Ligue 1, the trophies just come rolling in. did the treble in his first season, did back-to-back trebles. In fact, did triple trebles, if that's even a thing. Winning the league and the cup double there in his first 3 years as the PSG manager. Surely, although yes, it's PSG, yes, it's the Farmers League, it's France, but come on, surely, you've got to be a good manager to win 3 consecutive trebles. I don't think I've seen that in a while, if at all ever. And actually, in his last season at Newcastle, he won a cup double, didn't win the Premier League, didn't win Ligue 1 by the looks of things though. Let's take a look to see who did actually win it. It was PSG, so I'm wondering if Jurgen Klopp has left for Newcastle a little bit too early there, and actually in leaving a little bit too early has missed out on a 4th consecutive treble, because PSG did win the title in that last year. So somehow, I'm guessing it's just a bit of a football manager bug, but he's missed out on another title there. So that's unfortunate. But as you can see, Newcastle manager, literally for the last couple of months, he hasn't played any games yet. So we can't judge him at Newcastle just yet. But if we look at this, as you can see, he's won 9 cups, 8 of them being at PSG, 1 of them being at RB Leipzig before. All 3 of his leagues have been at PSG. It's a shame, that should probably say 4 there, but because it says 3, we'll recognise it as 3. And of course, played 419 games. And again, he's not really increased his win percentage too much. So, it will be interesting to see how he fares in the Premier League with Newcastle. Let's take a quick look at Newcastle. See where they're sort of predicted to finish. Has he got a Premier League winning team on his hands? Predicted to finish 5th, so with the potential to win the league there. It will be interesting to see how Jurgen Klopp gets on at Newcastle. So I think what we should do is go forward another 5 years into the future. So we're talking 20 years in total, probably a good 2/3 into his career then. And let's take a look at where he's at. So 20 years into the future, and Jurgen Klopp is standing by his name in this save, and he is just jumping from club to club to club to club. I don't even know how many clubs he's been a part of now. We'll look at that in a second. But to get you up to speed, the last 5 years, he wasn't at Newcastle very long, 2 years, and then spent a year at Atletico Madrid. And he spent the last 2 years, by the looks of things, at Juventus. So he's pretty much managed everywhere in Europe. If we take a look at his milestones and try and go all the way back to when we left him off, let's try and find it. There we go. He was Newcastle manager for literally 2 seasons. Let's take a look at how those seasons went. What year are we talking? 2038 to 2040. So let's take a quick look. So we're talking these 2 seasons here, aren't we? So he finished 5th. Well, 2 5th place finishes by the looks of things. And actually, the season he left, they finished 7th. So not too bad finishing 5th. It's kind of what the media predicted, actually, if we remember back what we looked at in the past 5 years. So probably a little bit unfortunate to be sacked there by Newcastle. However, pretty much immediately hired by Atletico Madrid. Won the Super Cup. That goes down as another cup, of course. And then a year later, not even that, was it? A year later, he was not sacked, but left for Juventus. So he's been Juventus manager for near on 2 years now and only won the Italian Cup. So Juventus, let's take a quick look at how they've spent the last 2 years. 4th and 3rd in the league. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing from Juventus. They're predicted to finish 3rd. So yeah, probably not the team of old, but he's still got potentially a league winning team there. What will be interesting, just to have another quick look at his overall career. Number of clubs managed, 7. So that's 7 in 20 years. That pretty much averages just over a club every 2 years. My maths isn't that great, not when I'm trying to look at all this data at the same time. But as we can see, he's got 11 cups now. Still only got those 3 leagues that he did win over at PSG. So I think what we're going to do, I did want to go 10 years into the future and go 30 years in total, but I think we're going to go another 5 years first to 25 years, purely because Jurgen Klopp seems to jump from club to club as quick as anything, and I think a 10-year jump would just be too much to try and pack in. So I think we're going to go 5 years into the future first and see how many more clubs he's been at. So 25 years into the future, and we're pretty much up to date where Jurgen Klopp would be in real life now, of course. But again, he's unemployed 25 years into the future. Kind of slowed down on the club jumping by the looks of things. He spent a 4-year stint at Juventus before leaving for, of course, Liverpool's big rivals, Man City. Was there 3 years and then left or sacked. We're going to take a look. But first and foremost, let's take a quick look and see what's happened at the end of the Juventus period. Not a lot. So he literally won nothing since we were last there. No, sorry, looking at the wrong one. He did win another Italian Cup, so I think that takes his cups to 12 before leaving in 2045. Agreeing terms with Man City and not doing a lot at Man City, winning the Carabao Cup, which is kind of absolutely rubbish considering Man City, I'd imagine, are still a big team in 2048. So, of course, let's take a look. 2048, literally just been sacked a month or so ago. We'll take a look at where they finished this season. And, I mean, yeah, I was just about to look and I've just seen Jordan Pickford. And that is the Jordan Pickford of, I know we're going a little bit off task here, but yeah, I mean, wow, he's definitely been the manager of quite a few clubs there, Jordan Pickford, now the manager of Man City. But anyway, we go back to Man City and see they've just finished down in 6th place there with Jurgen Klopp. Predicted to finish 2nd in the league this year, so probably underperformed big time, Jurgen Klopp did, for Man City. So again, he's not really taken off. Apart from that, if we take PSG out, which was the 3 leagues and 8 cups, if I'm correct, he's only won, what are we talking, 5 cup competitions outside of France. So, and he's managed 8 clubs. So it's a bit, well, it's a very underwhelming career from Jurgen Klopp. But of course, what I want to do is go another 5 years into the future. We'll end this video at 30 years into the future, and we can have a good proper look at his career and hopefully win another league title outside of France, surely. So we're 30 years into the future where we're stopping this video. This has probably been the craziest 5-year cycle that I think I've seen Jurgen Klopp do in this video. I don't really know where we start. He's now 63 years old. He's been at 4 clubs in the last 5 years, 2 of those clubs being Coventry and Burnley. So what is going on? We're going to have to try and pick the bones out of this one. But let's go all the way back to when he was sacked as Man City manager there, picked up in the same year as Newcastle manager in 2048, sacked literally 4 months later, not even making it till Christmas. That is bizarre. So that's the 2048-49 season. I do just want to take a quick look at that and see where they finished. So it would have been that season there where they finished 11th. So yeah, obviously didn't have the best of seasons. You can see there, Newcastle really went from 10th to 2nd in the league. So that's pretty crazy. But that's the worst thing, is that's not even the craziest thing about this last 5 years. Of course, he spent, what are we talking, a month or 2 out of management and then got picked up by Coventry. Spent a year at Coventry, did not win a single trophy. Went to Arsenal a year later. Was at Arsenal for a year and a half. Got sacked. No, he didn't. He actually left Arsenal on his own accord to go to Burnley. A couple of things I want to pick out here. Coventry, they've surely got to be a good team now in 2053. If we take a look at, well, first and foremost, let's see if they've actually been a Premier League team for long. No, they've literally just been promoted again. So why on earth Klopp went from, was it Newcastle to Coventry? Well, he got sacked, of course, but bizarre to see Coventry. I mean, he's at Burnley now, 9th, media predicted 9th in the Premier League. So is this Jurgen Klopp winding down his career potentially? But why you'd leave Arsenal to go to Burnley, I don't know. I'm still struggling to work that out, considering Arsenal are predicted. Are they a rubbish team now? I mean, they're predicted to finish 7th. So why you'd leave Arsenal to go to Burnley? I'm really confused. I'm really, honestly, I probably wouldn't have put any money on Jurgen Klopp leaving a team like Arsenal to be the manager of Burnley. Very bizarre. And of course, all he's won since that Man City Carabao Cup win, what are we talking, 5 years ago, is an FA Cup with Arsenal. So I'm calling this a pretty disastrous managerial career for Klopp. He's been at 12 teams in 30 years. So that's literally a team every 2 years if you average it out. He's played over 1,000 games, nearly 1,250 games. He's won only half of them, and his win percentage is 51%. Won 14 cups, still only 3 leagues. Okay, that should have been 4. Even if we say 4, he's won 4 leagues, all of them with PSG in the Farmers League of Ligue 1. He's won 8 cups as well in France, which means he's won 6 out of France. So pretty rubbish for Jurgen Klopp. This career. I mean, let me know what you guys think. 30 years of Jurgen Klopp managing 12 different teams. Pretty crazy the fact that clearly he loves England now, because he's been manager of Man City, Newcastle twice, Coventry, Arsenal, and now Burnley. I just can't get my head around that move from Arsenal to Burnley. But of course, we're going to leave the video there, guys. If you'd like to see, I don't know, another 10 years of this, Jurgen Klopp's, the rest of his managerial career played out, then of course do let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll do a second part, a shorter part of this video where we do play out the rest of the career until he retires. But other than that, the only thing to say is, thanks for watching. Do enjoy doing experiments like this, so if you can think of any other ideas you'd maybe like me to try and test out, please leave those ideas in the comments. And of course, if you are new, if you did enjoy the content, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else in the future.